Hello, this is Chris McCoy, co-creator of the Store Protocol. Imagine a world where cloud computing and AI are owned not by tech giants, but by all of us. That's Store, electricity for Web3. At Store, we're revolutionizing computing infrastructure by merging traditional cloud services with blockchains, targeting over $3.8 trillion of industry along the way. With Store, users own the economics of cloud. Developers access a crypto-native cloud to build next-generation apps, NFTs, and AI. Creators, they can compress entire industries into smart contracts effortlessly. Our Byzantine fault-tolerant architecture decentralizes high-performance cloud infrastructure, starting with Ethereum, expanding to Store chain, and then evolving to wherever Store democracy wants us to go. This isn't just technology. It's a movement to electrify cloud computing, transforming its economics from big tech controlled to user owned. Owned by you. Let's go in. Quick reminder, nothing said or presented here is investment advice. It's no secret that the global internet and the cloud landscape are controlled by big tech superpowers who control the world's most valuable computing resources, the most valuable chips, and therefore the most valuable data. Today, developers give these clouds proprietary access to their data, which leads to high cost of computing, vendor lock-in, and ultimately the centralization of key industries such as crypto and AI. For example, it's estimated that over 60% of leading proof-of-stake blockchain nodes run on these big tech superclouds. This creates massive compute counterparty risk for the $1 trillion crypto industry. Finally, the world's leading foundational artificial intelligence models like OpenAI, they're 49% owned by Microsoft, who's investing $50 billion into cloud computing infrastructure to train the next versions. This should change. We should own these models, and we should power the infrastructure. That won't be possible until there's a decentralized and secure cloud alternative. Introducing Store, the first user-owned, user-monetized, and user-governed high-performance cloud protocol, freeing both crypto and AI from big tech's control of the most valuable computing infrastructure in the world. Therefore, it's walled garden control of the most valuable data. Store decentralizes the computing, storage, and bandwidth backbones underpinning the global internet. This frees apps, NFTs, and AI to grow organically as user-owned token economies. Store's incentives theoretically displaces the need for Facebook, YouTube, and OpenAI to even exist, as they're no longer needed to pay for our data's computing infrastructure. On Store, using revolutionary token incentives, it's users that pay for and monetize the computing infrastructure, not big tech. This inversion will change everything about the internet as we know it today. With Store, developers access massive off-chain and user-governed cloud computing resources to invent the next generation of token-powered apps, NFTs, and AI. Developers can pay for Store computing resources using their own token economies, therefore bootstrapping their token from ground zero and providing a much-needed founding monetary premium required for the growth and adoption of cryptocurrencies. Developers gain composable building blocks like runtime CPUs and decentralized bandwidth to invent the future. At the same time, by being able to stake and secure not just block space computing, miners tap into 13 times greater revenue potential by securing high-performance cloud computing. Finally, on Store, both data and computing infrastructure have their own token economies. This opens up the potential for tremendous business model innovation for major industries such as sports, entertainment, and AI. In short, billions of dollars of industries can be compressed down into single smart contracts, all powered by the Store protocol. By converging off-chain and on-chain computing, the cloud, and block space into a seamless protocol incentivized by one token and powered by one monetary system, Store opens up a new frontier for computing. Let's now explore the 10 key technologies behind Store. Some are live now, some will be live at launch, some are in deep research and development, and all are continually upgraded. Technology 1, a long-term oriented, sound, decentralized monetary system that rewards users for paying cloud bills, for securing the protocol, and for voting in a decentralized governance of checks and balances. Store's decentralized monetary system is designed to last for 100 years with annual inflation between 1 and 2%. This results in real yields that lead the industry. The key monetary goal for Store is simple: that revenue generated from selling cloud and blockchain computing resources exceeds new token issuance. Long-term protocol security, which is critical for not only launching the protocol but powering the decentralization of AI across the next 100 years, is achieved by incentivizing our users to secure Store for periods of 8 years at a time. To continue our commitment to the long term, today, I'm proud to announce that our founding team is committing to 70% of their holdings for another 8 years. We'll have more information on Store treasuries in 2024, but as a doxed founding team, this is simply unprecedented. This commitment to sound money from our project founders, a commitment that will extend to 14 years from founding and likely more as Store treasuries mature, enables sustainable growth for the top creators and developers in the world to build on Store. Eventually, Fortune 500 companies and governments will be inventing AI on our protocol. Finally, Store is working on novel technology called credits that transforms the Store token into an immutable and fungible virtual currency. This recent invention in Store monetary policy, once it's launched, it will accelerate our vision to make crypto more programmable, both in the application and the AI layers. It'll extend to all the innovation built on top of Store. This vision is how crypto gets to web scale. Key technology 2, the Store Oracle, a self-governing artificial intelligence agent that guides the protocol in real time. Powered by over 200 individual APIs, the AI Oracle gives Store its global network intelligence. As the first developer on the AI Oracle, Store leverages it across all systems and public dashboards, including the Explorer. Third-party developers can build with it too, enabling Store to emerge as both high-performance computing infrastructure and an AI-powered computing platform. Our AI Oracle is overseen by Store's staked miners and voters, with checks and balances from the elected Store Association in Switzerland. Before going live on the protocol, each individual API will require 2/3 or more approval. That's 67% of Store's current first governance. Post-ratification, any change to an API, any change to Store's monetary system, its computing resources, and more, that results in a 33% or more threshold change. Across a 4-year period, this is equivalent to a 1/3 Byzantine fault. It requires a full checks and balances approval from Store's governance. In the meantime, the Store Association guides the AI Oracle inside that 33% threshold. This enables efficient and scalable decentralized governance for both computing infrastructure and artificial intelligence to emerge from Store. Technology 3, Byzantine fault-tolerant identity. Though Sybil identity remains an unsolved challenge in computing, Store's novel BFT identity technology, BFT ID for short, engineers the required 2/3 trust minimization needed for decentralization without a central authority turning that trust on. In short, this technology establishes sufficiently trusted identity for both humans and machines. It's the foundation for how humans and machines form collaborative and symbiotic democracies in the future. This breakthrough in identity will be vital for the evolution of artificial intelligence into this next century. At launch, using BFT ID, Store will begin attempts to achieve the trust minimization, the 2/3 or more trust and the definition of identity needed to secure a decentralized and democratic one entity, one vote democracy on the protocol. Once achieved, this begins to unlock the frontier of the first democracy between humans and computers, between computing infrastructure and between the humans governing the protocol itself. By aligning AI to ethical human values using cryptography, BFT ID enables responsible and democratic AI innovation. This allows humans and AI to coexist safely over the long term, even harmoniously. Finally, we are pushing the frontiers of research and development so that Byzantine fault-tolerant identity becomes the standard of identity for both machines and humans, not just on the Store protocol, but for the entire decentralized internet. Technology 4, dynamic self-governance.
Similar to how Uber surge pricing works, Store optimizes its security and computing economies in real time, dynamically calibrating the economics of both to the supply and demand changes inside the protocol. These real-time optimizations to economic indicators in the Store economy are unlocked by our AI Oracle. Let's take a look at two examples. First, for security, Store meticulously calibrates spending to match staking needs, avoiding overpayment and overissuance of tokens. For example, if only 18% is staked for security but 20% is needed by governance, Store's AI Oracle automatically lowers inflation from 1% to 0.81%. This prevents excess spending. It also maintains our sound money principles while accelerating the protocol on its path to long-term profitability. Second, for computing infrastructure, prices automatically decrease as demand rises. This unlocks exponential economies of scale in the Store protocol. For example, for use cases like NFT creation, the 10th megabyte of permanent storage becomes cheaper than the 9th. This is a pioneering strategy for pricing across both crypto and cloud computing. Fifth, massive tokenized off-chain computing infrastructure unlocks vast on-demand resources for builders. This reinvents how the cloud is both valued and exchanged. The Store virtual machine, Store's infrastructure is inside 5 data centers today, has up to 26,400 vCPUs, 240 terabytes of memory, and 12,000 terabytes of storage. We're adding GPUs for decentralized AI now, and we're looking at data center expansion into the Middle East, including Dubai. Post-launch, future data center locations will be strategically chosen by Store governance. Transitioning cloud computing accounting, a $550 billion, very complex industry that deals with computing resources, storage resources, bandwidth, and more, from dollars into crypto tokens, enables the formation of entirely new decentralized economies to form, not just within Store itself, but from the developers building on top of Store. This is actually the magic of how cloud and block-based computing systems converge into one seamless protocol. The Store infrastructure virtual machine, our pricing engine for the protocol powered by our AI Oracle, supports billing and payments in multiple currencies, including Store, Ethereum, USDC, and multiple leading layer 2s. Powered by our AI Oracle, supports billing and payments in multiple currencies, including Store itself, Ethereum, USDC stablecoin, many of the leading layer 2s, and eventually even payments by credit card. Another very unique element of Store is payments can be received in multiple currencies, where the Store protocol's accounting and billing system can make that work with multiple currencies. But all payments out, whether it be to miners or to members of our ecosystem or in smart contracts themselves, are made in a Store token. As Store evolves, it'll introduce a launch pad where developers building on Store, whether that be application developers, NFT developers, or even AI, can issue its own token on chains like Ethereum and Solana and use those tokens to pay its Store cloud infrastructure costs. Today, as you can see on the chart, major clouds are investing billions of dollars into AI startups in exchange for cloud computing credits. These cloud credits are used for these AIs to buy cloud resources. Store is doing the same thing. Our launchpad is where cloud computing credits meets venture capital. Store will do the same thing. Instead of equity for cloud computing credits, Store's community exchanges the Store token for the tokens of the innovation built on top of the Store. It's a launchpad, but with cloud credits. This alignment of incentives between the global Store community and developers building on top of the Store protocol provides developers with a founding monetary premium, something that layer 1 blockchains such as Ethereum and Solana simply cannot do. They only want to get paid in the native token, and public clouds have no chance. This also gives Store token owners access to some of the best early stage innovation that will emerge from the Store economy. Finally, this economic abstraction where the Store protocol accepts the tokens of the innovation built on top of the protocol, not just dollars and not just the Store token, unlocks a creative canvas for new business model innovation for billion-dollar industries such as sports, entertainment, gaming, and more. One final thing, Store Launch or Store Cloud Raise enables not just application developers and NFTs to use their token economies to pay their cloud bills, but it also enables AI to issue its own token and pay its own server bills. This paves the way for the foundation of Store's AI. We'll talk about this in a second. Now let's take a look at the on-demand cloud computing infrastructure tooling that's being built at Store Cloud. This is where developers can run their entire applications or websites and eventually their AI models on Store, accessing our runtime GPUs, CPUs, storage, bandwidth, and more. The difference between Store infrastructure and that of centralized services such as Amazon Web Services and Microsoft Azure is that Store is trust minimized, it's decentralized. Like all Layer 1 protocols, Store infrastructure has what we call a cost to execute a 2/3 Byzantine attack on the protocol. The higher the cost, the more secure the protocol is. Like any flywheel with positive network effects or any virtuous cycle, the more secure Store is, the more that network operators want to lock up to secure Store governance, the more attractive that Store becomes to build on from the most talented application developers and AI engineers in the world. Store as a computing protocol is globally owned, operated, monetized, and governed, which ultimately means that Store's network operators are responsible for its computing costs. Based on the computing and permanent storage guarantees that Store is responsible for, a break-even production cost to mint the Store token emerges. If Store trades at a price higher than the production cost, then Store miners are operating the protocol profitably and therefore sustainably. This is the long-term aim of Store's monetary system. And finally, a major breakthrough in Store's innovation, and we've said this before, but it's so important, I'm going to say it again, is taking the economics of a $550 billion high-performance cloud industry that works all the way down to data centers that in some cases cost billions of dollars to make, transforming that from dollars into crypto tokens. And not just a single token, but tokens accounted down to 100 million micro units of the Store token itself. This unlocks precision pricing and economics for both computing and data, which paves the way for both to become tradable commodities. This is no different than oil, gold, and other fungible raw materials that power the global economy. Our vision at Store is massive. Technology 6. Permanent data storage down to a single byte, the smallest unit of data technically possible to store permanently. This decentralized web service enables next-generation NFTs to emerge on Store, from high-quality films to live sports to decentralized AI. Once data is stored permanently on the protocol, two things happen. First, the protocol must pay for its storage costs every month for its entire existence. And two, data is replicated across 5 servers in 5 different data centers, giving it 11 nines resiliency and 3F+1 Byzantine fault tolerance. This is what we call sufficient decentralization for permanent data. Permanently stored data has both the underlying data and its metadata publicly available, solving the problem of NFTs being just links to JPEGs with no durability or provenance. Permanent storage also begins to solve the massive problem of both authenticity and intellectual property for NFTs, thus paving the way for Store to become an underlying web service to solve the problem of AI deepfakes. On Store, assets, proofs, and metadata all fit together elegantly in a single page where that asset, if it has a bandwidth budget remaining, can be viewed or played by anyone online, all paid for by the global Store community. Another breakthrough of permanent storage is that all data is available publicly as JSON APIs, making it programmable by any developer in the world inside and out of the Store economy. And eventually, this API will be monetized. Another key separator of Store is vertical integration. In this case, data availability, instead of it being a modular service that requires a separate token and a separate protocol, it's vertically integrated into Store itself. All blockchain history is permanently stored, as are all NFT metadata and NFT underlying assets. This is important. When you think about building on Amazon Web Services, imagine a developer needing a separate token for each individual service, whether that's compute or storage or bandwidth or networking. That's not realistic, but that's how Web3 is built today. Our vertical integration approach, powered by the Store Oracle AI, unlocks use cases and usability that today's crypto can't rival. Our approach is how we believe crypto gets to web scale. As mentioned earlier, permanent storage is paid for not by big tech, but by the store community, thus introducing infrastructure royalties on the protocol. The permanent data issuer, for every byte of data and every asset stored, earns a perpetual 2% royalty on all revenues associated with the data itself. This pioneering decentralized infrastructure royalty inverts the economics of the $9 trillion global internet. This incentive unlocks an internet where the infrastructure isn't controlled and owned by 5 major tech companies. Instead, it's owned, monetized, and governed by the global store community. This is revolutionary. With one powerful click and a single token, data is stored permanently, and from here, new token economies for content and AI begin to emerge. 2 final things. Everything that you see running live today is running on Store's infrastructure. Nothing is on Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure. Second, as discussed, each piece of data on Store is replicated across 5 data centers around the world. We write where each piece of data is stored both into Store Cloud and into IPFS, thus providing a provenance or a immutable proof of data that paves the way for decentralized AI to emerge on the protocol. Technology 7 is what we call a decentralized content delivery network, also known as a decentralized CDN or crowd-powered bandwidth. Our approach to bandwidth solves crypto's massive content delivery problem. Have you ever wondered why there is no decentralized Netflix or decentralized AI in crypto? The reason why? No protocol has solved for the question of who pays for the video's bandwidth or the AI's GPUs. Till now, on the internet, every page view, video stream, or AI prompt requires either bandwidth or GPUs. But no crypto protocol has elegantly solved the decentralized payment for bandwidth or GPUs problem. Who pays for the video streaming, the page views, and the AI without a centralized YouTube, Facebook, or Google monetizing our data to pay for the infrastructure? Without a solution to decentralized bandwidth, NFT innovation, it's stuck on JPEGs, and sometimes short-form videos. There will be no decentralized YouTube, Facebook, or OpenAI where the content has its own token economies and its underlying infrastructure has the funding required for the content to even exist on the internet. To solve, on Store, each stored asset comes with 10,000 built-in views, streams, or AI prompts paid for by the content issuer. This is what we call a starter CDN. This initial CDN enables data, content, video, and AI to be served, streamed, or prompted 10,000 times before the bandwidth budget expires. Asset owners, the permanent data issuers, can expand their bandwidth budgets for an additional payment to the Store Cloud. They can go from 10,000 views in their starter CDN to viral and broadcast quality content that runs on Store's decentralized infrastructure. When an asset, a piece of data, an application, and eventually an AI runs out of bandwidth that's paid for by the initial issuer, instead of that asset ceasing to exist on the internet, ceasing to be played, run, or prompted, the Store community steps in to fund the bandwidth infrastructure, earning a 5% share of that asset's revenues based upon their total contribution to that 5% fund. This novel incentive rewards the Store community to fund computing resources similar to how interchange fees reward payment processing and credit card networks. Instead of Facebook or YouTube paying for the infrastructure and monetizing our data to pay for our servers, now the Store community can fund it, earning a perpetual 5% share of the content's revenues. The more revenue generated by the data, video, or AI, the more infrastructure royalties paid out to the financier. This incentive is revolutionary. It inverts the economics of the $9 trillion internet. Let's put it into perspective. If the Store community provides an extra $1 of bandwidth to an asset that generates 1,000 views, all of which were paid for at $1 per view, that would generate $1,000 in revenues. With a 5% royalty on revenues, the community who funded the $1 bandwidth would collectively earn $50. Each member would earn a share of the $50 infrastructure royalty proportional to the amount that they contributed to the $1 bandwidth fund. This incentive pioneers a new computing concept called cloud space mining, where users monetize the infrastructure not 5 companies that control the world's computing resources, not big tech. Store's infrastructure royalty is a massive idea. It democratizes cloud computing. Store's decentralized CDN enables data, content, applications, and AI to have their own token economies that all run on Store's decentralized infrastructure, which is owned, monetized, and governed by the world, not big tech. It unlocks high-quality video NFTs, pay-per-view and decentralized AI, and eventually the metaverse to all emerge on Store. It fuses Store infrastructure to content and data to revenue generation, all through smart contracts, essentially eliminating middlemen like Facebook, YouTube, and OpenAI. In short, it's an incentive that can reshape the power structures of the entire internet.
It changes the fabric and economics of both computing infrastructure and data, therefore AI. Technology 8, Store NFT.
Once again, I'm going to tell a story about this technology, and behind the story, I'm going to demonstrate it live in production on the Store protocol today. With one-click storage and NFT minting onto blockchains like Ethereum, Store facilitates the global monetization of creativity and entertainment. Let's take a look at this technology today. With one-click storage and NFT minting onto blockchains like Ethereum, and it just starts with Ethereum. This can move on to Solana, can move into layer 2s, and eventually Store chain itself. The Store protocol facilitates the global monetization of creativity and entertainment using smart contracts. Let's take a look. Cross-cloud computing from the Store protocol to the Ethereum blockchain powers Store NFT, an elegant Instagram-like experience for NFT creation and innovation. The private key owner of the NFT contract, the IP owner, can edit permanent storage metadata, unlocking evolution to the underlying data, content, video, or AI. The private key owner of the NFT contract can also reissue any part of the NFT economy, unlocking economic dynamism for the NFT, which is critical for higher value intellectual property like movies and artificial intelligence to emerge on the protocol. Everything from specific IP rights to pay-per-view, to crowd distribution, to crowdfunding, to NFT sets with scarcity, to royalties, and to revenue sharing are either built into Store NFT or emerging right now.
This transitions us into technology number 9, Store Royalties.
As Store NFT evolves, complex movie deals will be compressed into a single smart contract, instantly paying out IP owners, talent, and for the studios that want to change the paradigm in Hollywood, the workers actually creating the movies on a per stream or per NFT sale basis. It's Store's democratized computing infrastructure that powers the storage, bandwidth, monetization, and the digital distribution for this disruption. This helps movie studios advance in the crypto era while unlocking decentralization for other major industries like gaming, sports, music, and future industries, including the emerging metaverse. In summary, Store NFT is like an operating system for data, for intellectual property. It starts with images, and then it moves to video. From there, to artificial intelligence. With Store NFT, the owners of the data and the financiers of the infrastructure can come together to power an entirely new internet where we, the people, capture the economics that Facebook, Google, YouTube, and OpenAI have so far. We monetize the infrastructure, we monetize the data, and the business models of the largest industries in the world can be compressed into contracts, all powered by Store. Technology 10, the technology that will change the future of artificial intelligence and potentially computing, is the Store chain. As I narrate, I'm going to demo. Let's dive in. As Store's infrastructure matures, the high-speed Store chain will integrate to unlock the massive potential of financialized AI. Our patented BlockFin BFT consensus algorithm, one that is leaderless, parallelized, pipeline, and asynchronous, enables efficient block production without sharding or rollups. Instead of adding database complexity like modular blockchains such as Ethereum and L2s, BlockFin BFT, a new BFT consensus mechanism that we believe will beat the speeds and performances of the leading blockchains today such as Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, Sui, Aptos, algorithm, and more. It natively shards and rolls up within its own architecture, thus maintaining database efficiency, which enables AI to be brought on chain, powered by Store's infrastructure. We've recently rewritten the consensus mechanism in Rust, the lowest level and highest performance language that we could go. We expanded testing to 100 nodes to determine throughput bounds. We've introduced a specification for DDoS prevention called dynamic DDoS, and we will pursue the same security audits as the leading databases underpinning the global internet today, such as Redis, Elasticsearch, Mongo, and more. As you can see, the blockchain is already producing and finalizing blocks on Store today. Store infrastructure will launch the chain. Once secure, anyone in the world can bring their own virtual machine, their own hardware, as long as it meets the requirements set by Store governance. Store chain changes the future of computing. As each of our 10 vertically integrated technologies mature, powered by our decentralized and high-performance cloud computing infrastructure, a community-owned, funded, monetized, and governed foundational AI will emerge on the Store protocol. This is how Store financializes AI. To bootstrap this foundational AI, application, NFT, and AI developers are incentivized with the Store token to contribute their training data to the protocol. As the AI generates revenue, whether that be through pay per prompt or subscription, developers will be paid for their data, valued both for quantity and quality. Store is inventing a proprietary algorithm right now that values data based on its class, its structure, and its scarcity down to the 100 millionth microunit. The more revenue generated by Store's foundational AI, the more exclusive data that developers will contribute to the Store protocol. This provides a long-term, sustainable data advantage over big tech's AI. With AI, whoever can continually acquire the highest quality data at the best price will win. Store is ready to win. All right, that concludes our technology presentation. There's a lot more under the hood, but now let's wrap this up. We've come a long way since 2017. We are now on schedule for a 2024 initial token launch. First, we'll privately sell $4 million of Store tokens, Store equity. Then, we'll establish the Store Association in Switzerland, hold leadership elections, and then finalize the regulatory and tax compliance needed for long-term sustainable governance. An incentivized test network will follow. And then from there, we'll launch. And from there, founding security and governance auctions will follow. Store will execute 5 planned launch phases, where the inflation rate and the security budget increase each phase, unlocking new technology and capability within the protocol. And after the 5th, Store chain comes online. And from there, computing changes. In conclusion, together we can reshape technology to decentralize and democratize big tech's control on our computing and data. We can unlock entirely new innovation in applications, NFTs, and AI. And we can do so both equitably and responsibly over a very long time period. I invite you to join us and be part of the revolution where we own, fund, monetize, and govern the world's cloud infrastructure. From there, our relationship to data forever changes. To learn more, visit storecloud.org. To get involved, email team@storecloud.org. To support our work, to purchase tokens or make an investment request, visit storecloud.org/buy. Final disclaimer, nothing presented here is financial advice. Onwards.